Hi everybody, thank you for joining us right here on North Dakota today. Well, Dr. Matthew Christensen and Dr. Josh Jagger from Dakota Clinic are joining us to share a little bit about their practice. Good morning, you guys.
Hey, good
Good
morning.
morning, Sophia.
Yeah, we appreciate having you guys on the couch. Okay, you might need to help me out with the pronunciation of our first topic. Can one of you guys tell me about what is peripheral, neuropathy? Is that right?
That's a word some people most people struggle with. But
Yes.
yeah, so Sophia, peripheral neuropathy is basically a disease where the nerves outside the spinal cord and brain actually start to break down.
Wow.
So neuro means nerve, pathy means disease. So basically the nerves start to break down.
Yeah, okay, very interesting. So what are the signs and symptoms that someone might be suffering from this?
Some of the signs and symptoms simply are just more tingling of the feet. You might get in your hands or feet, but tingling, burning, coldness, numbness, and the list kind of goes on up to progressively just getting sharp pains throughout the feet. Yeah. Gonna go from there, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times too is when it gets real bad, people start to have complete numbness, can't even feel their feet, or they'll start to have balance issues.
Okay, very interesting. So what's the typical kind of approach or medical approach to cure this?
Yeah, usually in modern medicine, and by the time folks come to us, they usually have kind of went through that, they're going to get pills. You know, you go to a doctor of medicine, you're going to get pills, which for many things is a solution, but with neuropathy, they're usually getting anti-seizure drugs, something called gabapentin, Lyrica. The reality is these drugs, what we find is typically neuropathy is caused by a lack of blood. All those really do is change a person's perception of the pain itself. So when that don't work, a lot of times antidepressants are used. And then finally, we do see some, unfortunately, patients come in on opioids.
Yeah. Okay, very interesting. So how many people suffer from this disease?
Studies show about 25 million people really suffer from this issue. So it's a pretty large number and just continues to actually rise a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would argue that's probably, Dr. Josh would agree, it's probably a fairly conservative estimate. About 70% of people with diabetes actually end up with this. The problem with diabetes, it's high blood sugar is very acidic, so it eats away at the nerve lining.
Wow.
So honestly, it's probably under reported, if you would.
Yeah, definitely. Very interesting. So what do you guys do differently at Dakota Clinic to treat this?
Yeah, kind of take a mainstream approach too with looking at what the sensory is like with the feet or hands, checking to see where people are at that. We look at balance, and one of the more newer things that we do is a thermal. We really look to see temperature differences between the hands and feet, but more importantly, are they getting circulation all the way down to the toes? Most people, again, they start losing the circulation down to their feet because it's the furthest away from the heart. And so that is one of the main things that we're able to see and just give them a visual, taking a look at that.
Yeah, like he said, Sophia, the number one cause that we see is people are what we call ischemic. They're basically not getting enough blood flow. We always say if you've ever been silly enough, put a rubber band on your hand. That's what neuropathy is. So it can be very serious over time. And that's why you hear about some people getting amputation or falling or just losing function waist down.
Yeah. Okay, very interesting. I like how you guys have, you know, a more whole body overall health approach to treating this because it's a major issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely. So if someone is learning to look a little bit more about this and perhaps get an evaluation by you guys, how can they reach out?
Yeah, so on the screen you should see a promo. If you or someone you love has burning, tingling, numbness, especially if you're starting to lose balance or full feeling, you know, there is 4 stages of this disease, and up to a certain point there's a lot we can do. Stop it. Most folks we can reverse it 30 to 85%. But quite honestly, there is a point, it's kind of like a garden that's, you know, wilting, turning yellow, where we cannot help, and that's what Dr. Josh and I do, that initial eval for $49. Typically it's well over $400. We'll do all of those tests, tell you what stage you're in, what we feel we can or can't do. For some odd reason we can't help, we're definitely open to referring you to who can.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome, definitely very important. Well, thank you both so much for joining me on the couch this morning. I know I definitely learned something.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And everybody at home, stick around. More North Dakota Today coming right up for you after this short break.
It's here, the 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Check out these hot deals all after 11% rebate. A 3-panel folding LED light is just $1.99. A pair of lined suede gloves, only $5.99. Get a gallon of white vinegar, just $1.89. An 8-pack of bubbly sparkling water, only